Was this just some people enjoying a gas station wedding reception and dudes hanging out with fuzzy slippers? Or were there more issues with this car show? Car shows are common in the Smokies year after year. Recently there was a SlammedEnuff Car Show that crossed a line, causing the city to cancel the final day of the show. In this video, we'll take a look at what was really going on, from car races the Gatlinburg tunnel getting blocked for an impromptu photo shoot, multiple fights occurring, including one I firsthand witnessed, and ultimately crowds taking over gas stations, climbing on gas pumps, causing large police presence, and much more. We'll take a look at statements from both the city and the police department, including the latest indication this car show will no longer be welcome back. So let's pull up a few videos to get a closer look at the last SlammedEnuff Car Show from October of 2025. So before I get started going over a number of different clips, I figured I'd share with you my personal experience as I was out on the road both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend during this particular car show. Friday we went out to do a mountain coaster, and one of my daughters is learning how to drive, so drove around through some traffic, which is pretty typical with car shows, and there wasn't any major issues. We picked up their friend that lives near the Sevierville Walmart, and they said that their dad had to call the cops on Thursday night, I guess it was, as around 2 a.m. they're in the Walmart parking lot just revving the engines and extremely loud. It's echoing and keeping them up as they live pretty close to that Sevierville Walmart. So Friday after the mountain coaster, we made it back home with no issues. Then Saturday, late morning, my daughter says, hey, I'd like to do some more practice driving. Can we drive to Chick-fil-A and pick up everybody lunch? And I said, sure, no problem. So I hopped in the car and let her drive out. There was a lot of traffic, but again, that's to be expected on busy weekends here in the Smokies. So the GPS said, hey, why don't you take this back road? You actually get to Chick-fil-A a little quicker. So I'm in the passenger seat with my daughter, and she was going the speed limit on this back road, and there were people behind her wanting to go faster, but I just told her, don't worry about them, just go the speed limit, you're fine, just ignore anybody behind you. And there were two different little low-riding cars that went around all these people and went flying past and scooted in right in front of her and just missed oncoming traffic. This happened 2 different times. Once we made it home, I determined, I don't think we're gonna go out anywhere else. We're just gonna stay here. Thankfully, where we live, we don't hear any traffic. We're kind of secluded out in the Smoky Mountains. But again, later that night, issues begin to arise, especially in the Pigeon Forge area. We're gonna check out some different videos to see what was going on throughout the day and into the evening that caused the city of Sevierville Sunday morning to say the car show is canceled, everyone go home. But before I look at some clips, I did want to make it really clear that I don't necessarily see everyone that participates in this event as part of the problem. It's just like if I went to a sports game and I had a particular team's jersey and somebody in the crowd was being obnoxious, rude, breaking the law in some manner. It stinks that because we're wearing the same jersey or at the same event, that I could be associated with that behavior. It's just one of those things in life that stinks. So I just wanted to throw it out there. If you are somebody that's been able to come to these car shows and enjoy them and not be an issue, I feel bad for you. I know it stinks. And I also wanted to throw out there, I've seen people comment that they should ban all car shows, and that's something I wouldn't agree with. Again, we were just at the Jeep invasion earlier this year. We had a great time. People were exchanging ducks. It was family friendly. And I don't think because one issue with one show, you should then create a blanket law that says no car shows are allowed at all. But again, I just want to put it out there, I'm not lumping everyone who was a part of this car show as the problem. There are problem individuals and problem behaviors we're going to look at now, but I just figured I'd put that out there. All right, so let's check out a couple different videos and see what was going on for this car show. This first one is on Facebook by Static Mobes, and the back of this car is just dragging on the ground all the way across this road. So I don't really get the wheels that go out. I don't get making the car as low as possible. Some people like that kind of thing, I don't know, but it's just going through town, just scraping up the concrete. All right, let's look at another one real quick. This next one is a race, I believe, on the parkway. Oh, wait, no, sorry, hold on. Wrong video. All right, here is somebody up in, I believe, the Gatlinburg, up in the bypass area or something, but I think it's a Corvette in the front.
Oh my!
And the other car comes and hits it from behind. So you could say, well, why did you stop so quickly? But I would say you have to always be cautious, and this is what I teach my kids who are learning to drive, that you have enough space and you're mindful that if someone does stop really quickly, you have the ability to stop. But this is nothing unique to this specific car show. That happens probably every car show. There's some type of accident. It happens every day on roads all across America. Here's a clip of a car getting towed, this white one right here.
This thing sits on the ground. I don't see it happening at all.
And I don't know how he's gonna get it up on the lift here.
His bumper about to get cooked.
Bumper is officially off. So I don't know exactly why he's getting towed or the circumstances, but the front and the back bumper, this thing is so low, it can't get up onto the tow vehicle. Again, people get towed at car shows all the time and every day in the Gatlinburg area for parking in the wrong places, so that's nothing really that would warrant stopping a show. I will say if I have an Airbnb or a cabin or something like that and I rent it out and I come to check it after this show and the driveway is just completely gashed and all completely messed up in some way, I could understand being a little frustrated. We do know someone who does clean cabins in the area, and they said that it was just horrible, and it has been in years past of all the car shows. This one in particular, they said, I'm just speaking from what they've told us, that their cabins that they have to clean get trashed in this particular car show more than any other car show. So that's just what they're telling us as cabin cleaners. This next video is some bears who are trying to figure out how in the world did this car make it onto our driveway over here. So they're inspecting the car show right now, checking the level of tint and the modifications to make sure they're legal, I'm sure. I love how this one's just like laying across the front windshield. All right, next video. This next video is from the cabin cleaner on TikTok. Her name is Kira, and she has some pretty funny videos where she just tells stories and she's very to the point. And anyways, I figured I'd let you listen on her take, who is someone who's been born here and lived here her whole life. She doesn't hold back her opinion on this particular car show. Let me play it real quick.
SlammedEnuff was a travesty that never should have occurred. The amount of property and vehicle damage that they accrued while they were here supersedes anything they could have raised for donations. I understand that you're very proud of those cars that you built, but we are proud of everything that we built here. And you have no right to come here and destroy it and expect us to sing your praises over a couple $1,000s. Because it is just a couple $1,000s and
She's talking about donations, so that the car show itself, the people that have attended, I know when it was Hurricane Helene, I know for a fact that they came together and brought some things and donated this time last year, and they were able to donate stuff, which is great. That's great. So that's what she's referring to when she's saying, look, a couple $1,000s as far as donations that people who attended the car show, so that's what she's referring to.
Comparison to what has been caused. Parking lots are filled with trash. It's disgusting. Property owners are tossing out entire hot tubs and pool tables. Not to mention the amount of people who are now out of a vehicle because y'all like to play Fast and Furious. The Corvettes don't do that. The Broncos don't do that. The Jeepers don't do that. No amount of money is worth this damage and destruction, and y'all just get to leave town. You don't have to deal with it. How many of y'all are actually leaving here with your cars in one piece? And how many of y'all are gonna blame the Gat curse on it instead of your own terrible depth perception? We saw so many of these little fart cans being taken off car haulers without the front bumper because they didn't want to damage it in transit. And now you're actually taking them home in pieces.
My wife just went to get her hair done, and the person that does her hair, her husband works at a bank right by the Jimmy's Market, which we'll be seeing here in just a moment. And they said that come Sunday, their entire bank parking lot was just loaded with trash. And they said they had a lot of issues trying to get people off the parking spots that are allotted for customers to be able to come in and use the bank on Thursday and Friday. But that's a perspective from a local. I did want to share this video from someone who participates in the car events. I thought he had a pretty good take and just a good level-headedness about the whole situation. So here's Jay Stay Cruisin' on TikTok.
I don't know when y'all are gonna realize it, but we quite literally have nothing left besides maybe Texas 2K and Sevens Day. Y'all managed to ruin one of the biggest car community events in the South. Maybe even the country. But then again, y'all don't even care about cars for real, so what's it gonna take? I very specifically remember mentioning no hooning, no burnouts. Y'all came from Canada, California, YouTubers, OnlyFans girls, and your McLarens and your Lambos, and we're drag racing down the strip? I literally watched a guy argue with the cop, then buck at the cop, get maced, then pushed against Jimmy's entryway right next to me and get tased. And y'all still think we can have meets like this? You think takeovers are fun? Someone showed up in an R34 with a Mac 11 sitting in the driver's seat, and we expect to still have meets like this. Are you dumb or are you stupid?
So again, he's saying he was there and he kind of watched just the cops have to deal with people who are unruly, and he's frustrated that there are people amongst the crowd who are causing the issues, and he wants to just go and enjoy seeing different people's cars and seeing, oh, that's an interesting idea. I didn't think of doing this modification or doing that, or that's just a really neat car, and appreciating what other people have. I think that's great. No matter what type of model car, truck, Jeep, whatever you have, you want to go and just see other people's vehicles and just hang out with people, buy some different parts and just have a good time with people. I get it. I understand his frustration. I just wanted to reiterate that every car show that I've been to, I've seen somebody pulled over. There's always going to be somebody that's speeding. There's always going to be some kind of car accident, or people are going to have to get towed. That's going to come with the territory when you have a lot of people, a lot of vehicles in one area. It's just bound to happen in one way, shape, or form. But what I've never seen in any car show is what drew the line and caused the city to cancel it for the following day. But this next video gives you a better idea of what it was like Saturday. This is Wide Zona, as his car was at the gas pump area, and he's basically told he can't go anywhere. They're trying to control this crowd at this point in the night.
Yo, being stuck at Jimmy's Market right now is wild. The cops have everything blocked off. I asked this gentleman right here what I need to do. He says, just don't move, just sit in your car. You're kind of in a dangerous spot right now. He said, just stay in your car. He said, I asked him if I need to get out of here somewhere. He's like, you can't go anywhere, literally. He's like, you just got to stay put in your car. He's like, you're in a very dangerous spot right now. So, yeah, I'm kind of trapped here. This is actually crazy.
He describes the situation as crazy in that clip, which looks like there's some form of order at this point, but check out this clip right here. So it's a short clip, but if you can see right here, there are people up on top of the gas pumps. But I can tell you from a first responder perspective, if there is a fight, which there was a fight, you're going to hear a police officer explain what happened to help lead to some of the chaos. If I have to get in there, it's a little bit crazy to be able to respond to somebody. Or again, imagine somebody's smoking, right? They're not even thinking about it, and they're by these gas pumps and they throw their cigarette down. Just imagine that we could be having a completely different story right now of all these people that lost their lives. So I get this as a major safety issue. Here's another clip by Pro Street Matt on TikTok, and this cop gets a little frustrated, and I would be too if people are firing this thing off right next to me. Here you go. I don't know if you caught that, but he says, it doesn't matter, you're in Tennessee. So I don't know if he said something like, well, I'm allowed to be this loud where I'm from, or I don't know what he said to the cop. But I think I also heard the cop said, I've warned you twice. I've warned you twice, and he proceeds to rev the engine and fires off things right next to this cop. The cop comes around and says, get out of the car. I've warned you twice. As I was mentioning, we have some friends that live by the Walmart, and they said they couldn't sleep. I talked to someone else who also lives not far off the Parkway, and they said, it was a long weekend. It's loud. It's not like rod run or Jeep, which comes to a point in the night and it kind of settles down. This is going on to 2, 3 a.m. in the morning where they can't sleep. They're like moving from one room in their home. I'll touch on a statement from the police chief of Pigeon Forge in just a moment, but I will tell you, kudos to these guys who go running in when there is some form of weapon potentially or danger that they're putting themselves in harm's way to diffuse the situation. So we saw some people on the gas pumps. Here's another clip where people are actually climbing up onto Jimmy's Market, which I can tell you as a firefighter who took building construction, some of these roofs are not as stable as you think they are. It becomes a pretty dangerous situation. People are like climbing all over this gas station, which again caused the police to intervene. And I could tell you, Brie's father was working on a roof, fell through the roof, and became paralyzed for the rest of his life. So this is just one of those situations that, I understand the police coming in and saying, we got to get off the gas pumps, we got to stop the fights, we got to stop climbing on the building. This is just not a good situation. So this next video, someone's actually talking to one of the officers, and here's what the officer explains why they had to come in and intervene. I'll let you listen to this.
So, what's the update for here? What's going on?
So, all right. So here's what happened. Somebody ran over somebody's foot.
Oh.
Somebody got in a fight because he got his foot ran over.
Okay.
So we come in and try to break it up.
Right.
So they decide we're going to fight the police.
Uh-oh.
So they start fighting the
Never a
police.
good idea.
Makes Jimmy nervous because
Right.
Jimmy's like, hey, I just want to shut down.
Yeah.
We got too much going on. Can I just maybe just get out of here
Yeah.
or whatever? And now nobody knows what's going on. Y'all don't know what we're doing. You don't know what
We
y'all
see
are doing.
gas masks, dogs,
It's
and
like we're
everything.
squaring up for some reason. It's ridiculous,
Okay.
And so the thing is, and on the gas,
Yeah.
we think somebody is going to get hurt. Like, for example, there's a big crowd over there.
Yeah.
I can't go in and beat 20 people up.
That's true.
My limit's
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
What about
I can't go in and beat 20 people up. My limit's 15. This guy's great.
60.
so anyway?
And he's saying basically what I've been saying is just it's an unsafe situation. It's something that's hard to control a crowd like this. There's people climbing on things. So totally get it.
Gas has to. We can't allow somebody to get the brain smashed in.
Right.
So we have to have some way to help that person.
Okay, so this is more precautionary type of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
You guys doing good?
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
So kudos to this officer. He's got a pretty good attitude. He's being friendly. I think that helps a lot of these situations where anybody's getting kind of escalated or heated. He actually does a really good job. Just, look, guys, here's what we know. Here's what we're dealing with. And he was just chill and friendly about it. Even had a little joke in there about I can't take out 20 people, 15, but not 20. So kudos to the officer here. And here's a clip from Common Traffic Media, who was there at Jimmy's Market as all of this was going down. I'll let you listen to his perspective.
So I just got back to Charlotte from Gat, and if y'all saw my video yesterday, my car actually got stuck in Jimmy's Market during like the whole riot when the cops were there. So I figured I'd explain what actually happened since I was there and clear up all the misinformation I've been seeing online. So it started off like a normal meet. There was a ton of people. There's a lot of cars. Within like 2 or 3 hours, though, it became like the most crowded I've ever seen Jimmy's Market. There was so many people there. Like, you were shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't walk around freely. You would lose the group you're with. And like, there were so many people, you couldn't even see the cars in the gas station. In its peak, when there was a ton of people there, people started screaming like, fight, get him, blah, blah, blah. So like, it was very obvious a fight was happening. I found out later that somebody apparently got their foot ran over by a car, and they smacked the mirror of the car, and the guy got out and they started fighting or something like that. From what I saw, there was no guns, there were no knives, but that's just from what I saw. And like I said, you couldn't really see too much. So I don't know where all those rumors came from. And then like 30 cop cars pulled up, a SWAT truck pulled up, a helicopter pulled up. They said they were going to tear gas us and pepper spray us. No one actually got gassed or pepper sprayed besides this guy, and he didn't even get pepper sprayed. They just kind of threatened him. And then out of nowhere, the cops just left and all drove away. And then everyone stormed back in. They were cheering, they were chanting, they were climbing on the gas pumps, climbing on the building, jumping up and down. If you're one of those people, bro, you ruined Gat for all of us. So I hate you.
So there's his perspective as he was over by the gas pump. They cleared everybody out. He had to back away, and his car was basically trapped there for quite some time. And as he mentioned, there's a SWAT vehicle, a helicopter, and probably 30 plus cop cars that converged on this. The one challenge with that is, yes, they probably did have additional resources to anticipate that there would be large crowds at this event, but it still can kind of put a strain on the system to where if there was another emergency on the other side of town, a big fire broke out or something where you need resources, it's just not a good situation where all these resources get sucked up and dedicated towards a gas pump kind of mob area. It's just not good for the area if all of these resources are dedicated to one area for a lengthy bit of time, and perhaps there is a true blue emergency somewhere else. This next one I want to show you, again, to me is a big issue. You could say, oh, this was done at 3 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. in the morning. Maybe it was, but I still think it's an unwise idea to block off the tunnel, which is something else that I heard, that there were at times cars blocking off the spur, the road between Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, that they'd kind of almost hold up traffic so two cars could race through the spur together. I haven't seen any video of that, or I can't confirm that, but that's what somebody had mentioned to me. But like I said, this could be at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and maybe there isn't a lot of traffic, but all it takes is one person to be coming through the tunnel. They're not paying attention fully, can't see you very well, or vice versa. You're not paying attention, and now there's a major incident. They're actually playing a song that I'm muting, which is also muting the revving of the engine inside the tunnel. They put out signs that say no honking in tunnel, and the reason that is, at least according to my friend who owns a cabin around the corner, is that all the honking was causing an issue for the people that live there. So even if it is 3 a.m. in the morning where there's not much traffic, if you're in that tunnel honking, revving the engine, that's just a disturbance to people who, renting a cabin or living in that area around that tunnel, which is why they put those no honking in tunnel signs up. I got 2 more videos to show you real quick. This next one is a bear getting his revenge on all the noise in the mountains.
Yo, this Miata got hit by a bear earlier today up in the foothills of Tennessee. Bro, this is why you don't put snacks in your rig, ladies and gentlemen.
Somebody with a hard top in Gat. We need it now.
Hit us up. Yo, we're showing it off on TikTok, brother. The Bear B&B. What should they not do?
The Bear B&B.
Pickle chips in your car.
Where's our...
Done for.
Yo, I don't know what to do. Get out of there. Come on. Get out. You too. Nah. The seat, both seats, and it's up top. Shot. Like, come on, man. Yo, everybody, follow the TikTok for the recovery, man.
So lesson of the day, don't leave pickled chips in your car. And I have one more video I got to show you, and I'm just going to show you a couple press releases real quick as we wrap up this video. This next one, I don't know why, it just made me laugh. I titled it, Funny Reaction to Noise. All right, here it is. Enjoying the view, but then I heard... I mean, look at this guy's face. I don't know. I found this quite hilarious as he's trying to enjoy the mountains and hears this revving and noise. Again, any car show can have some noise. I have noticed, living here for 8 years, it is probably the noisiest of all the car shows. And again, I'm not in agreement with the people who come out and say all car shows should be banned. I think if you're able to come here, I think it's great. But there are a few clips, and here was the release come Sunday morning that the City of Sevierville statement on the cancellation of the show. It stated their decision to cancel the show early is based on numerous disturbances, safety concerns, and significant strain on county-wide public resources directly related to activities surrounding this weekend's event, which are some of those things that we just looked at, some different clips and stories, firsthand accounts of, again, all the resources that were going mainly in Pigeon Forge. I find it kind of odd that the event itself is in Sevierville. Most of the activity is in Pigeon Forge, but they refer to the event as Gatlinburg, which I see very minimal actual footage outside of people getting stuck in cabins. I don't think there's a lot of people really going to Gatlinburg. It's mainly the flat areas of Pigeon Forge that I've noticed most of the vehicles. This press release goes on to say that individuals who are attending this event are strongly urged to vacate in an orderly and lawful manner. So actually after church on Sunday morning, I went through exit 407 to get to where I was trying to get to, and there were a lot of people leaving the exit on Sunday afternoon. The Pigeon Forge Police Department released this statement on that Sunday afternoon saying that there have been rumors circulating about shots being fired and chemical agents being deployed in our city. We want to make it absolutely clear, no shots were fired and no gas was deployed by our department. It goes on to say that the SlammedEnuff Car Show was not sanctioned by the city of Pigeon Forge. It posed a serious threat to public safety, and we stand in full support of the city of Sevierville and their decision to cancel the official car show. Because again, keep in mind, this is being held at the Sevierville Convention Center up by Smoky Mountain. That's the actual car show location, but a lot of people would move to Pigeon Forge and hang out around the main parkway where a lot of the Pigeon Forge police were the main ones dealing with a lot of these activities on Saturday night. So the 2025 car show was canceled. Will it ever return? I don't think so. Based on this post we saw by Joey Oman, who's the alderman for the city of Sevierville. He says the SlammedEnuff Car Show will not be coming back to Sevierville in the future. This was announced at our regular board meeting tonight. That was Monday night. So he is saying they did a meeting on Monday and they went ahead and did some kind of vote and said, no matter how much they offer the convention center in Sevierville, I don't know how that works, but they're saying, nope, we're not having this particular car show back in the future. Despite a city official saying they won't be welcome back, Pigeon Forge could say the same thing, Gatlinburg could say the same thing, but they could still have basically an unofficial gathering where they just say, on this date and that date, we're gonna be hanging out next October. So I don't know, we'll see. Some people are already saying we're gonna still do it, and we'll see what next October holds. But we'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments as you've watched all these clips. What's your take on this situation? Do you agree with the city coming out strong, saying they're not welcome back? Have you had any particular experience that you'd like to share with everybody? Feel free to drop that down in the comments. But I hope you found this video helpful, informative in any way. If you did, simply hit that like button before you leave. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you on the next adventure.